I'll be loading all the onlines on the portal. So, but before the end of the course, you should be completed all the online on the portal, because without this online you won't get a certificate. If you can attend 100%, but if you are missing the online or is incomplete, you won't get a certificate. Over to you, Nomsa.
Good morning, guys. How are you doing this morning? I'm going to ask Jackson to switch on his camera so you can see him. And he's not always strict, but when you're working with him, he wants things to be done properly. Um, I just want to take this time to welcome you and explain the purpose of this meeting, the orientation. um if there's one thing positive that we can take out of what COVID has done to us, was to give us an opportunity to meet all the candidates on the first day before the program starts. At least we are able to meet all of you, because otherwise, if you're attending at Durban, there was no way that we would come there for to meet and greet you. So, like Jackson has said, I'm the manager for courses and distance education. I work with Jackson, Melanie, and Nadira and Moses. So, Melanie, as the course director, she has already highlighted that it is important for us to be punctual. So time is of utmost importance. Just make sure that every day you log in. Today, Jackson has waited for those latecomers for 10 minutes. If it was me, I would not wait for you, because I respect those who honor time. So if we say 9 o'clock, exactly 9 o'clock we start, we can't be waiting forever. I always give this example of a train, that I've never seen a train or a bus or taxi that has waited for somebody that is late. If the bus leaves at 10, the bus will leave you, even though you have paid or you have the ticket. So that is how it is with us. So that's how we will start. And then number two, what I want to address is, I've seen that most of you have logged in only using your names. So it is important that when you log in on the MS Teams sessions, log in using both your names and your surname as they appear on the forms that you have given us. Because what we do is, a register is controlled every day. Jackson will do the register, Melanie or Nadira will do the register, and I'll do spot check. So when I do spot check, I don't want to be calling your names, because they might be. So, I mean, I see there's Bianca. Bianca, at least she has logged in as Bianca Nell. We can see that. But if she didn't use, like, Candice Rose, I see you've logged in using your two devices. Then there's Crystal. What if there are two crystals already in the session? So you're giving us the responsibility that when we do the register, we must keep on checking. Kimona, which Kimona is this? Your surname. So make sure that you log in using your details, name and surname, because if the instructor is on with the session, we are not going to stop to ask who's this. If we miss you and we deem you as absent for that day, it means you'll have to catch up the session. And when you catch up the session, you pay 200 Rand per subject for the session that you've missed. Please make sure that today, because it is the first session, we will not remove you from the meeting. Next time when I do spot check, if you have not registered with both your name and surname as they appear on your registration forms, I'm going to remove you from the meeting, and will remove you and block you, because don't want to tell you every day that who's this and who's that. We are going to take the questions at the end of the session. I saw that there's somebody who raised their hand. And then number two, Jackson has already highlighted that one. If you have any queries, your go-to person is Jackson. Don't ever bring your query to me. Don't ever send me an email or copy me an email where you haven't spoken to Jackson first. Our turnaround period as the Law Society of South Africa is 24 hours. If you send email and Jackson doesn't respond within 24 hours, is then that you can escalate the thing to me, because I got a call, I think yesterday morning. Somebody sent the email at 8:15, and already at 8:30 we had 4 missed calls to say, but I've sent an email and there's no response. As when did you send the email? But I sent it this morning at 8:15. So if you send us an email, give us time, because what I wish to highlight is Jackson is not just the coordinator for Durban. Part-time, he has other courses that he's coordinating, but within 24 hours, your queries will be resolved. Then, if the queries are not responded to, you're more than welcome to escalate the matter to me. And it is very important that if you're not happy, if I don't respond to you within 24 hours, then you can escalate the matter to the senior manager of the Law Society of South Africa. Never go to Legal Practice Council with the queries, because we had candidates that will tell you that we'll report you to Legal Practice Council. Legal Practice Council has nothing to do with PVT training. So it is very important that we work together on this one. Escalate the things to me. I'll attend to them. If I don't attend to them, Ogilvy will attend to them. Jackson has already highlighted on the e-leader. E-leader, he will send you the user guide. But what I just want to bring to your attention is your e-leader login details will be the email address that you've used for registering, your generic password that they will use to set up the site for you is 123456, and immediately after that you can log in and change your password. And in case where you change your email address or you change your law firm, or in case where you are on leave, it doesn't mean that you cannot access the e-leader platform because you've used your work address. Even though you've used your work address wherever where you are, you don't have to be at the office remotely. You can still log on the e-leader platform using that. In case where you want to change your email address, or in case where you forgot your password and your password should be reset, go on the e-leader platform. Then there's a menu, drop down menu. Click on password reset. It will send it to the e-leader department. They will reset your password. Don't wait for Jackson, because others will be, I'm waiting for Jackson to reset my password. That you don't have to wait for Jackson, but make sure that e-leader queries, technical queries should be sent to the e-leader team. The email address is available on the e-leader site, but administrative queries are handled by Jackson. So if anything that has to do with administration, come directly to Jackson. You don't have to go to the e-leader platform. That is the first one about e-leader. Secondly, when you do all the assessments, just know that 50% is pass mark. If you score anything below 50%, the sites and the test is multiple choice are made in such a way that you are able then to redo the assessment or retake the assessment in case where you score less than 50. Just make sure that as soon as you see the marks, they redo the assessment, because once the sites are closed, we will close the site and we will not reopen them. Then we'll have to charge you 200 to redo the subject. So just make sure that within the period that is allocated, do all the assessments and finish them. And don't wait for the last day, because what I've seen previously with the candidates, they will wait for the last evening, do them while they're still busy before they submit, then the site close. So when the site is closed just that now. As soon as Jackson has published the sites and they're activated, you added on the sites, please start working on them. And if you have any issues, don't wait until it's late. Just contact Jackson. One thing that I wish to mention is when he has sessions like this, most of the classes will be or via MS Teams virtually, will be offered virtually. But when he has classes like this, calls will not get through, because I sometimes get calls to say, but Jackson is not answering to me, whereas the same group has class and he's in that session. Just make sure that you call or you email him when he's available. Then the number 5 that I want to attend is the issue of attendance reports. So what we do is, after the course, we compile attendance report, and if you have missed any subject, then your certificate will not be issued. So the certificates will be sent through to Durban. You can collect your certificates from there. So, but those that wish to their certificates to be posted, they can be posted, but sometimes the post office takes time and sometimes the certificate get lost along the way. Those that are using DOCAX, then it's faster. If you have it, you can give it to Jackson when the certificates are ready, but that will be after when you have attended all the contact sessions, all the virtual sessions, and you have completed all the online subjects. If you comply, then we'll send you confirmation. In case where you have missed a subject, if you pay the catch-up fee, then you can be able to catch up the subject with the other groups, either with the Durban part-time or with the Peter Maritzburg, or if it is the virtual session, if you pay, you can catch up with any other at any other center. Then what I wanted to say is I want to address load shedding now, because I say the next point that I wanted to say. Load shedding affects all of us. And if there's one thing that our government doesn't fail on, that delivers on time, that they have learned to communicate, is load shedding schedules. We have the load shedding app. You can check whatever the ESCOM app, you can check the load shedding schedule. You know when load shedding schedules take place. And unfortunately, we need to live with load shedding. Load shedding cannot be an excuse for missing sessions. Now that we have the schedule, you are able to charge your laptop before that, charge your phone, download the MS Teams app on your phone, so that if your battery on the laptop dies, then you at least have your phone that you can connect on. Make sure in case where your Wi-Fi doesn't work, at least recharge your phone so you have enough data to continue with the sessions during the load shedding. What is acceptable is we can allow you to miss at least 30 to 45 minutes, but not more than that. If you miss anything more than that, you need to redo the entire session. So what we do is we record the sessions of the classes, but the recordings will never substitute full attendance. In case where you have missed 30 to 45 minutes due to load shedding, then we are able, Jackson can give you the recording of the session so that you can catch up. But there's no way that you can catch up 1 hour, 2 hours, and 3 hours. Otherwise, you have missed a lot of content with that. Just make sure that you do that. Load shedding, unfortunately, is here to stay. The stages are fluctuating, they are going up and down. We do understand that. However, what we have learned is life doesn't stop because of load shedding. Everything continues. All the schools are running, the shops, the malls, everything continues, because it's something that we need to learn to live with. The only times that you are acceptable to miss a class where we will not charge you for a catch-up fee of the 200 catch-up fee that I spoke about. It is if you miss class because you're sick and you can give us a valid doctor's note. Ne? That is number one. Then we will not charge you. If you send Jackson that, he will arrange a catch-up for you that you join another center. Or if there's a death of a close family member. When we say close family member, with us Black people, my cousin's cousin, my grandmother's cousin is close to us. But with how we are doing things now, close, we mean your intimate family, your mother, your father, your sister, your mother-in-law, your father-in-law. That is the close family that we accept. Otherwise, if we have to accept death cases of all the other relatives, we will miss a lot of things. Unfortunately, we don't make the rules, they are there. Then the other time that you can miss the class that we will not charge you for catch up, it is when it is your own graduation day and you've given Jackson a proof that you are graduating on the day. Your principals should know that you have registered for the program. There's no way that there's no way that we'll expect them to send you to court on the day that you have class. So that is something that we encourage that you discuss with all the principals. You're not going to miss a class because there's a court that you need to go to. So the other thing is, it is very important for you to note. I know it is there on the website. I know that you've already received the program, but we sometimes get complaints. Why are we attending every day when we do legal practice accounts management? Already it is there on the brochure. We mentioned it. Even though you have registered for part-time, but that week when we do legal practitioner accounts management, you'll be expected to attend every day. You cannot overlap over the weeks. So that is very important for you. The recordings of the sessions are available, like I've already said, but recording doesn't substitute full attendance. So you attend. If you need the recording for something else, then Jackson can make it available to you. So Jackson, I'm not sure if I've covered everything or if there's anything that you want me to cover. But if
You,
there's nothing, I'm going to.
yeah, yeah.
I still ask you to switch on your camera so they can see the person that is addressing them.
Candidates, my camera is not working, but I'm a very handsome somebody. Uh, so, but unfortunately, my camera is not working.
Handsome somebody can come to my desk so they see you.
Okay.
Handsome somebody is coming to my desk so you can at least see how he looks.
Uh, did it? Uh,
We
Yes,
can see you, Mr. Jackson.
Okay, thank you very much. But you are not the candidate. Moses, you are quality assurance. I'm asking the candidates. You know me, Moses.
You haven't done your makeup, Mr. Jackson.
Okay. Candidates, can you see me?
yes,
I
we can
got
see you, sir.
Okay.
Yes, we
Bamboo.
can see you.
Are you happy about me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I hear.
So you have seen Mr. Handsome. So he's graciously walking back to his desk so he can continue with the session. Over to you, Jackson.
Moses? Moses?
Sir.
Yeah, you can talk to the candidate, Moses Kombe, about the quality assurance.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ndlovu.
Thanks.
Candidates, we welcome you this morning. My name is Moses, as mentioned by Mr. Jackson. I'm with Quality Assurance Department of the Legal Education and Development Lead. So my main task is very easy, but also difficult if I don't get your support. We know when we talk about quality assurance, there's the key operative word, which is the word assurance. So we are assuring you that throughout this training, we'll maintain a high level of quality. Now, how do we do that? Well, we've got a system in which we are able to evaluate the training practices that are going on this program. So we evaluate, number one, your course instructors. We also evaluate your course material. We also evaluate your course training platform, the platform on which you are in right now, the Microsoft Online Teams. So to help us do that, I'm not going to, we don't evaluate ourselves, rather we give you that opportunity as candidates to do the evaluation. So you have a task to do by using a form that we have, which is the evaluation form. You will see it as, I'm sure as we start the training, you'll be able to see that form. And the beauty thing about it is not on pen and paper, rather it's also an online electronic form that you can be able to put in your comments, do the ticking. We have ratings from 1 to 4. 1 is the lowest score for an instructor and 4 is the highest, excellent. So if you see instructors done well, many things that you assess the instructor on could be the use of audio-visual equipment, the slides. If they're using them properly and you're happy, you can give them a 4. If you feel that wasn't good, maybe the slides were too detailed, you can give a rating that you feel they need to make improvement on. And remember, all your evaluations that you do are anonymous, and the instructor won't know you, the one who rated them this low or this high. So once we finish the process, we consolidate those evaluation forms, and then we are able to make a report. We discuss this information with your instructors so they can make improvements. So the other thing that you evaluate, as we mentioned, would be your course material. So if you find some information is outdated or missing pages or improper pagination, those things you can also be able to comment on, put your remarks so that we can make improvements. Remember, our material is updated every year by subject experts, so they're able to look into those issues that you are going to highlight for us. Then the other thing which you can evaluate will be your training platform, your Microsoft Teams. If you find challenges, maybe every time you want to attend your class, you have no access to the class, you always have to wait for somebody to let you in. and that delays your ability to attend a full class. Those comments you can put in. And basically that. So if you don't participate, it makes my job very difficult, because then we don't know what to be able to improve on. And like mentioned earlier, please, when you are not happy about anything, please don't go out shouting out to the world or do a WhatsApp group and try to comment on that. It won't help you in any way. This is the platform where you can shout out your bad experiences, things that you don't like on the program, and we definitely handle them and take them seriously. Basically that. So we want to thank you all. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll be able to respond to such. Thank you very much, Mr. Jackson. Over to you.
Okay. Melanie Gavenda, the director. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Jackson.
Thanks.
Morning, everyone. That was a lot for all of you to take in. I want to stress a few things to you. We all sound like a very, very strict bunch of people. All of you are entering the legal profession, so you know better than most that there are always boundaries in society, and clearly in our profession there are more boundaries than most, because we are meant to set that example with regards to the boundaries, because we are meant to implement the law, because we are the first-hand implementers. Now, the reason I point that out is every one of you has to go through this. This is created through legislation. You choose to choose this profession, so you have agreed to bind yourself to all these terms and conditions that are set down by government when they pass that new legal practice bill. You know that Legal Practice Council has a huge part in setting out what are the requirements for admission to become a practicing attorney. So in essence, all of you have agreed to that. And the reason I point that out first is, like with everything in life, actions have consequences. You have chosen this path, so you need to follow those boundaries, which you are well aware of. And the consequences have obviously just been explained to you should you not follow it. One of the important reasons for obviously these boundaries and for us to reiterate it to you is through experience and through the years, we've tried to find ways to streamline everything and to make things as smooth flowing and as simplified and as pleasant for everyone concerned, both you, the students who are going through this experience, as well as us on the other side, the team that are running the program for you. Now, I know a lot of you, not a lot of you, a lot of people don't like hearing, being told immediately, here's the boundaries, this is what you must do. So please understand this. It is not all doom and gloom. You will see as the program goes along, excuse me, there are moments where we do need to remind you of the boundaries. We do need to remind you of the guidelines and the rules, but you will also see that we are a very amicable bunch of people. We are human after all, just like you. Like you will err, there may be instances on our part where you may not get what you want immediately. Please understand that we are also human. I've heard especially it has been, okay, Nomsa didn't mention this, but Jackson and Moses mentioned this quite a few times, and they've mentioned all of the possible negatives that you can come across. But I also want to say to you that there are going to be lots of positives you're going to come across. So like Jackson and Moses were saying, examples of rate us, tell us what your negative experiences are. On the flip side of that coin, you are more than welcome to also tell us what your positive experiences have been, what positive feedback you have, what you take away from this, because at the end of the day, you are meant to take away a lot from this. Now, the only way we can get you to take away the most from this experience is if we stick to those guidelines. And remember, we can't tailor make this to suit just one particular person. Therefore, we have to tailor make it to suit all the students. And when you are running such large numbers, you cannot please every single person. So please understand that when you are giving your feedback as well, because from experience, we know, like I said, we're human, we get frustrated. There's a lot of factors that play into the running of the program. In addition to that, we now have outside factors such as load shedding. You've been given the tips and the suggestions for how to handle those challenges. So if you stick to it, you should be fine. Now, coming and complaining to us and telling us that you have a problem with load shedding, we can't resolve the load shedding for you. Hence, we've come up with possible solutions around the load shedding issue. So I think if we follow those guidelines, we will be fine. And like I said, it is not all doom and gloom. However, Nomsa used a very nice example when she was talking about punctuality. I want to use a more relevant example that you will come across in your day-to-day professional life. No presiding officer waits for you, the attorney. There are rules, there are time frames. You've got to get to court at a certain time. You have a responsibility to your client. You have a responsibility as a judicial officer of the court to fulfill those responsibilities. Likewise, when you attend these sessions, you are just continuing those same responsibilities. So you do have a responsibility to get here on time, because it can be quite frustrating and disrespectful for those who have turned up on time, as well as it will take away from the time with your instructors. Now remember, it's very condensed time periods. Your instructors are very experienced people. They have a lot of practical experience to share with you, but they can only do it once all of you are in for the session. So out of respect, firstly, and out of a want for that thirst, for knowledge, it would be my suggestion that you follow those principles and make certain that you're here on time. I'm also certain a lot of you, if not most of you, are in the situation where your principals are not happy if you pitch up at work whatever time you feel like rocking up. So likewise, treat this with the same respect that you will treat your professional life as well as your personal life. Now, something else the others have mentioned, these email situations. We've already seen it happen this week, so I am going to mention this. When you receive an email, unfortunately, to save time and to reach as many members of our audience as possible, we do have to send bulk emails. And this is something for you to remember when you are in practice as well. When you see an email, and especially if it refers to you personally, or if you're just expressing your opinion, or if you're just saying thank you, we appreciate that positive feedback. However, there's a thing called reply, and there's a thing called reply all. You do not have to choose reply to all. All of us do not have to see your response. It's only the relevant people that need to see the response. So the example I will use is when Jackson sent out the invite this week. A few of you, yes, I understand it's still early. Do not take this as a negative. Rather take it as a learning curve. Instead of replying to Jackson and saying, thank you, I've received the invite, you decided to press reply to all. So our already congested inboxes were getting filled up with these things. Now you have to understand, we are juggling far more balls. So this takes away from our time for the practical stuff that we can do. So going forward, please remember what Jackson said to you and what Moses said to you. Contact Moses. He told you what you can contact him regarding. You know you can contact Jackson with regards to all of your queries. There may be instances where you may not get a response from Jackson within that 24-hour period. Then by all means, you are more than welcome to forward that email to Jackson and then include myself or Nomsa. And you did hear Nomsa say she does not want to receive emails from you. So my suggestion would be just to include me and not Nomsa. I will then make the call whether to escalate this to Nomsa or not. Okay. So when you are sending us emails, be wary of that. Please, it's confidential information, it's private information. The whole world doesn't have to see it. You all know about Poppy. You don't need to reveal everything to everyone. Know your audience, know who needs to, or who's the person that can assist you. That's the person you need to contact. Another thing is during class, whilst an instructor is busy with you, it is quite distracting if you are going to go off topic and start asking. Remember, your instructors can also have a look at the chat. They can see what's going on. As an instructor myself, I can say with certainty it is extremely distracting to be able to keep track of what you're trying to say to the students, and then you see all these messages popping up. We'd like to help you, but sometimes students do say unnecessary things. And if you disagree with this comment that I just made, go back and look at today's chat, or else wait and see when the instructors are with you and see if you do then still disagree with me. The other thing is, whilst class is carrying on, please do not send your email queries then. Pay attention during those sessions you have. And when you're on your break, if you are given a break to do a task, do your task. Don't use that time to attend to your personal stuff. And if you have free time and if you're done with your task, then by all means, email Jackson or myself. And the other reason I bring this up is I am also an instructor. So I know sometimes how distracting it can be when I am actually with students and I am instructing on a certain subject and I see these pop-up emails coming. Miss Governor, this is the problem. Miss Governor, I'm having this issue. Unfortunately, there isn't anything I can do for you at that time. If I'm lecturing on contracts and drafting of contracts and commercial contracts, I cannot assist you with the e-leader platform. Okay, so also be very mindful of when you approach us, how you approach us, like we are very mindful of when we are sending emails to you. Remember, there's a few of us and there's a lot of you. And sometimes when you send these things during class and we are busy with something else, that is when we may miss your email and you may not get the desired response within the time frame. And therefore, I am saying, be mindful of when you are sending the emails, because if you don't get the response that you want within the time frame that you want, you cannot blame us if we are busy with you and then you are still going ahead and sending us emails. And like Nomsa said, Jackson is not only running this program, he is running other programs as well. So he is going to be busy with lots of other stuff. By no means am I saying never contact us. Please do not get me wrong. Business hours only, obviously. So bear those things in mind. Also, try to keep an open mind. Try to look at this as a positive experience, because we have noticed students just come up with problems upon problems. Rather, you adults, we're in this legal profession. We're meant to be able to problem solve. We're meant to analyze things. We're meant to unpack things. try to see if you can unpack the problem and you can find a solution. And if you genuinely cannot find a solution, then by all means contact us and we will assist you if it is within our powers to assist you. Okay, another frequent query, two frequent queries we're going to get after we start or in the next coming weeks is that issue of your packs. You've heard Jackson say that the material will only be available in Durban the day before you start. They haven't yet arrived in Durban. So Nadira Sunarain is the person that you will be dealing with to contact, to collect rather your materials. Mrs. Sunarain is based at the Innovation Center at UKZN. You will use gate 9 to go and find her. She is at the School for Legal Practice. She has asked if you could kindly restrict your times between 9 o'clock to 12:30. So you have a 3.5 hour window on the 15th of February to go and collect all your materials so that she can assist all of you and hand out your materials. Please remember, she is going to have a register with her by then, and she is going to make you sign when you collect your materials so that we know every one of you have received it. Please don't go before that. And definitely do not go after that, because you will need your material from day one when you start your courses. Okay, so bear those things in mind as well. Mrs. Sunarain is assisting me, so you will not deal with her directly unless I ask her to deal with something. So Jackson and I are still the people that you will contact. Remember, Jackson is the first person you will contact. Things will get escalated to me and I will decide if things need to be escalated to NOMSA. So that covers your material. Then the other big thing is towards the end of the semester, and especially after you're done, we normally get inundated with queries about your certificate. Please, you have been told in advance, you have to complete all of your sessions. You can't just complete a morning session and not attend the afternoon session, because you will be marked absent. It means you will have to come back and repeat. Bear those things in mind. Another thing I would like to tell the students is, yes, there is an opportunity to do catch up, but sometimes students leave the queries too long or they contact us too late. Remember, there will be a time where both the part-time course and the full-time course will cross over. If you leave your stuff too late, you may not be able to catch up in 2023. We have had the situation where we've told the students they unfortunately have to catch up in 2024 because they've missed the entirety of 2023. So do not let yourself be caught up in that position. Make sure the day something happens, that's the same day you email Jackson with your query and tell Jackson, this is the problem. When's the next soonest date I can catch up? Coming to us 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, 6 weeks later, our hands are tied. And then we get students all up in arms and they become aggressive and arrogant and rude. There are rules, and therefore we are telling you about this in advance. Okay, so those are the most important things that I can think of that we need to bring to your attention. On the whole, please don't forget what I have said to you. It is not all doom and gloom. It is actually very interesting. It is actually very helpful, and you will enjoy it. Just give yourself, keep that open mind, keep that positive framework, and keep yourself open to the possibilities of the information you can learn from instructors, because Jackson and I have to come in periodically to these sessions. So we listen to your instructors, and even I myself, as old as I am, I find it so interesting. Okay, so bear that in mind as well. Yeah, so I think for me, That's the most important things I do need to say to you. Like I said, we all don't look as strict, and I'm letting you see my face so that you can see I'm not all doom and gloom. We do actually smile. We are quite friendly as well, because I know my voice can sound intimidating and I said some very strict and stern things to you. We are here to assist you and we want you to have an extremely pleasant experience. Okay, so good luck and everything of the best, and we will see you during the semester. Thank you very much, Jackson. You can continue.
Thank you, Melanie Gavenda. Is Nadira in?
Yes, Nadira is here. So
You want to say
maybe
something? Or
Nadira, Mr. Sunarayan, you may want to add something. No, I think, okay, she's happy with what we've said, Jackson, so it's over to you.
okay, no, it's now it's question time now. They can ask questions. Candidates, any question?
Before you all jump, please can you raise your hand so we know exactly who's asking the questions. I can see 3 hands raised, so we will call you out accordingly. The first one is Mpende Lenschle. Please unmute yourself as you speak so we can hear you. And when you are finished speaking, please lower your hand and mute yourself so we can go on to the next person. Okay.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yes, I'd like to ask for clarity with the collection of the material we collect at the Howard College. I understand that. And if you are in PMB, are you counting as outside Durban, or do I have to fetch my materials myself?
So you said you are in PMB.
Yes, I reside in PMB and work there. So with the time frame being 9 to 12:30, would I have to collect myself, or would I have to get delivery?
Yeah, so I don't know. Like when we do the contact session, will you be able to come and attend at Durban?
Yes, I will be. I will arrange that with my employer.
Because last year when I was coordinating Peter Marisbeck, and this year I'm also going to coordinate it, there was candidates who came from Durban to Peter Marisbeck. When the time for contact session arrives, they wrote about thousands of emails that they can't do there. They can't go and attend at Peter Marisbeck because they are residing at Durban. So I don't know. I don't think we're going to encounter the same problem like the one we had last year. Yeah.
Okay, I have spoken to my employer about the contact sessions, and they will allow leeway for me to attend there every time we have a contact session. My question is about collecting the materials. Since
No,
I'm in,
I was just highlighting you that are you going to be able to attend? You said yes, then it's fine. The material can be collected from we can arrange to deliver your material at Peter Marisbeck. You
oh,
can just
okay,
send.
thank you.
You must send us your like residential address.
Okay, do I send that to you directly, or
Direct to
Mascavenda?
me.
Okay,
Okay, that one we will arrange. Like maybe the courier will take it from Durban to Peter Marisbeck, but everything will be delivered to Durban Center.
okay.
So and then it will be much cheaper from us when we deliver. We courier them from Durban to Peter
Okay,
Marisbeck. Yeah.
okay. Thank you very much.
Ngiyabonga Gajeni.
Bungamin.
Thanks.
Okay, this goes back to the guest, our next guest that's going to talk, because Nomsa highlighted this. The person that is sitting at Lamini and Sidumo attorneys, you need to put your name up so we know who we're talking to. But it's your chance to talk now. Please introduce yourself. The student from Dlamini and Sidumo attorneys that has your hand raised, do you have a query still? Okay, time is wasting. We're then going to move on to Abdullah Sidat. You are up next. What is your query?
Good morning. I just wanted to find out. I actually reside in Port Shepstone, and the firm that I'm actually doing my articles with, we do have DocX facility. So instead of the documents being
Sorry,
yes,
candidate, we had load shedding this, we get cut off from our side here. Now we are back now.
okay. So I
The
actually
candidate,
Jackie, I was not cut. I had everything. You can continue.
okay, all right.
okay. So I reside in Port Shepstone, and but the firm that I'm employed at, we do have a DocX facility. So instead of delivering the study material to the Howard campus in UKZN Durban, can you not maybe send the material directly from your office to the DocX, our firm's DocX address?
Abdullah, this is the same query as the previous student. You are definitely going to be attending contacts. You will be able to attend contact sessions in Durban.
Yes,
Will
that's
you?
correct. Yes, that's
Right.
correct.
Then the same situation applies to you. Please do what Jackson said to the other student. Please send him an email directly with all your contact details for delivery, and you will have the pack sent to you in Port Shepstone.
And that will, and we should receive it before the 16th of February.
If you contact him timeously, and if you give us sufficient time to have the stuff sent to you from Pretoria to Port Shepstone, yes. But unfortunately, we don't have control over the postal services. But if you do it timeously, Jackson will do his best to get it to you on time.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Mohammed Ibrahim, you are next. Your hand is up.
Hi, good day. I'm so sorry. My question is with regards to load shedding. So in my area, when I have load shedding, I get bad network at the same time, irrespective if I have data or not. It's just for 2 hours. So how would we go about to challenge that? And I think there's other candidates that have the same problem as well.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Yes, on the case of load shedding, we can see if you are struggling to log in. If the system kick you out and you try to log in, we can see this is the load shedding thing. But those candidates who just just take it, that will take it as load shedding. We can see that you have problem with the load shedding. You're trying to log in and log out. We can see it from our side, this side. That is not a problem. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Mohammed, also I would like to add, those are one of the few instances where you can actually send an email when the load shedding is finished, or your schedule beforehand. Send an email and say, my load shedding is from this period. And then if we notice what's going on afterwards, we can tie in the two, because we also can have students who are now aware of this, who may abuse their system. So please also follow it up, or rather start it off with an email, because like Nomsa said, everyone knows the load shedding schedule in advance.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have another hand. Moses, would you like to go first, or can I ask the student to go ahead?
You can ask the student, go ahead. I'll go after.
Thanks, Moses. Tasman Oosthuizen, your hand is up next. And Mohammed Ibrahim, please lower your hand.
Hi, sorry, I just wanted to ask a question about load shedding. So recently we've had quite a few power failures, and also the cell towers around the area that is load shedding goes down. This is not always the case, but it does sometimes happen. I'm hoping that it doesn't happen to me, but in these instances, what would be required to do, and how would we give notice?
So you're talking about exceptional circumstances where you're not going to know in advance, right?
Yeah, so it's just been the power station blew up in Westville. Yeah.
Okay, so in those particular circumstances, and remember that will be the exception, not the norm, you can send the email after the fact when you do get reception again, but at least we will have a written record of it. so that if there is a query about your attendance at a later stage, we can go back and have a look. I do take all the students' emails and I keep it in a separate folder regarding attendance. So at the end of the semester, I can see who had problems, who didn't have problems. Because a lot of students will say to us, I attended. But if they don't send emails, I'm very sorry. You knew the rules, you didn't advise us. But like I said, Tasman, the situation you're giving is an exception rather than the norm. So in those particular circumstances, we cannot expect you to do anything except notify us after the fact.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
Melon, I think if I can just add on that one, because she will know the load shedding schedule ahead of time. If it is possible, she can travel to an area where they are not affected. Either she can go to her office or to her work, unless if she's based in the same area.
No, what she's saying, Nonsa, is in situations where there is a problem at the power station. Now, this did happen. There was a major problem where the power station blew up last week in Durban. I also was
Okay, it's
affected
fine.
by it. So I understand in that situation only.
That's fine.
After the fact. Thanks, Nonsa. Right. Penelope, your hand is up. You can go next.
Greetings, everyone.
Hello.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity. Actually, load shedding just cut me. I had my hand up a bit earlier. I
No
just
problem.
wanted to ask, because when I was checking my timetable, I was faced with issues whereby, since I'm working, now there's like 5 days of online classes whereby I have trials on those days. So I wanted to ask, in such instances, how does one get assistance? Because it's quite a lot of days that are clashing with my diary, and I've tried also to bring that up with my principal, but since it's a small law firm and there's like two of us, it's quite of an issue because he also has trials on those days. So I do not know how I will maneuver around that. I was hoping maybe I could get assistance or guidance in terms of what I should do in that regard. Thank you.
Thank you. Namsa, you want to take that one, please?
I think maybe she was late because I've already addressed that one. That your principals, they're obligated to give you time off to attend to your classes. That is number one. Number two, legal practitioner accounts management, it is online, that we put it on the brochure that you're going to, even though you're attending part-time, you'll attend one straight week for that. So alternatively, I think you can make arrangements with Madeleine as the course director. If she understands the reasons that you're giving, they can allow you to join the Durban full-time students, but their program is way later in the year. That's the only way that we can assist.
Thanks, Namsa. May I please also add, Penelope, cannot send an email and tell me that you have 15 weeks. Okay, but it's not 15 weeks, but you can't tell me you have 10 weeks already that you're not available. Then that's being unreasonable. Remember, the suggestion Namsa just gave is the exception, not the norm. You've got to work around those times. If you've got a couple, we can accommodate you. But if you're going to miss the majority of all the lectures, then there is going to be a problem. Then maybe you need to do the full-time modules and not the part-time ones if it's already clashing with your schedule. So please bear that in mind. But you have to send an email ASAP telling us, give us a full list of all those dates where there is a clash so that we can see if we can accommodate you. And if it's too many, then you need to rethink about whether part-time is for you or not, and maybe full-time would be better. Oh, and another thing I want to remind all of the students, NOMSA did tell us after, because these timetables were obviously drafted late last year, NOMSA did send us the admission exam dates, and we have amended so the timetable you were given is your final version. We have amended the timetable according to the admission dates. So you will see there is 1 week where you are attending on a Friday instead of a Thursday. That's to accommodate for your admission exams. And the reason you are doing it on a Friday is there is no other time on the timetable. So that timetable is extremely tight. We cannot change it, but we have accommodated admission exams. Now, if you are taking time off for your admission exams and then you think you're going to have a problem attending the lecture the next day on the Friday, please understand that is between your principal and you and your choice to choose to write the admission exams on that particular day. You have to then speak to your principal to ask for the extra time off for that next day's lecture as well, because it is a commitment you've made for everything and you've got to work around that schedule, bearing in mind what NOMSA said to you, that your principals have to allow you to attend these sessions, whether they are virtual or in contact. With regards to in contact, it's not just the legal bookkeeping that is contact sessions. You will see there's wills and estates, there's 2 days, and legal costs, there's 1 day. So in total, you will have only 7 days where you will have contact sessions. And the reason some of them run concurrently is because of the content, because of the material and the way it needs to flow. So if you're going to ask us, can anything be changed? The answer to that is no. We have taken everything into consideration, and that is the best way the timetable can be set up. Please also bear in mind, it's not just for you guys that the timetable has been set up this way. It has been set up for every other course, be it part-time, full-time, in every other province as well, taking all those same scenarios into consideration. Okay, so we have tried to make life as best as we possibly can, make it as good as possible for you, and try to accommodate all the possible things that we can see you having problems with. Anything beyond that, if someone is being uncooperative or if someone is being difficult, unfortunately, that we cannot assist you with. Okay, Farah, you got your hand up. Please make sure the next time we see you, you have a surname as well, but you can go ahead and ask your question. And Moses, I think you're going to have to be
I
next.
think to add on what
Yes, no.
Melanie, I think to add on what you have said, candidates saw the dates before they enrolled because the dates are on the website. So when they've enrolled for the program, we take it that they've checked all the dates and they know that they'll be able to attend. So that's what I wanted to add.
Thanks, Namsa. Okay, where did the student disappear to?
Farah, you can speak.
Hello. Hi, can you hear me?
Farah, yes.
Yes. Hi, I'd like to know with regard to collecting our tax on the 15th. Does it have to be us that send someone?
Farah, you want to know if you can send somebody else?
Yeah.
Right, Farah, if you want to send somebody else in your place, please remember yet again, we do not expect everyone to follow this. Farah's situation is obviously an exception, not the norm. So I don't expect all 67 of you that are here to now send someone in your place because of the next step. So Farah, what I would suggest you do is send an email to Jackson and Mrs. Sunarine and tell them that, give them your name, your ID number, your details, and then tell them the name and ID number of the person who is going to collect your pack for you, and ask that person to please come either with their ID document or their driver's license so that we can confirm the correct person is collecting it, so that we do not have comebacks later on with Farah saying, I don't know who collected it. I never gave them authorization to collect it. Now my pack's gone missing. I insist I have another one. That can be accommodated, but only under those circumstances. And therefore, I'm saying, please don't all do that, because if all of you are going to inundate Jackson and Mrs. Sunarine with emails telling them that so-and-so is going to collect your material, can you imagine what's going to happen to their workload? Okay, so I assume, Farah, you are the exception and not the norm with regards to that query. But will that work for you?
Yes. Well,
Thank you very much. Moses, I think you've waited very patiently for a long time. Please go ahead and tell us what you wanted to share.
Yes, Melanie and candidates, it was just with the issue of load shedding, and I thought I would rather make a reference to the case work that we do every year with our distance program, the PLT. And what I find advocates who are instructors on board that training is that during the day, they make sure that all their devices are fully charged. They're at work, they charge them. And then when they come in the evening for those role plays for the casework, all the devices are ready. They're able to run, whether load shedding, whether they do it in the dark, it doesn't matter. So to you candidates, please make sure that the load shedding we're referring to that might make you miss any part of the program could be something not of your own making, but something totally beyond your control. You go to the office, the workplace has no connection to the network. The power issue, it's something which must be your own responsibility that your device is fully charged, ready for the class. And remember that you're paying for this. You're paying lots of money for this program. It's an essential part of your career. And treat it as a court session. Every time you ever try to miss a court session, it should be something totally beyond your control. So treat it in the same way and be not just present in the lectures. Be active. It is not the instructor that's going to benefit. It's yourselves. You paid for this program. You are excited to do it. Let that excitement continue through to the end of the program. So that's the best encouragement that I can never give you. Work and fight this load shedding. Unfortunately, it's with us. It's not going anywhere. But try as much as possible to do all you can to make sure you benefit fully from this program. Thanks, Milan.
Thank you, Moses. Moses has raised some very good points there. And I would like to say, please remember, we are all in this together. We are not protagonists. We are not on separate sides. The team, myself, and all of you, we all are together in this and we work together. And remember, we are meant to be here to help each other and to help you through this process, but within certain guidelines, obviously. So we are not meant to work against each other. We are meant to work together. So if we work together, it will be an extremely pleasant experience. And one thing I've learned this a couple of years now, I may as well say this to students up front, because you get all sorts. And you've heard us being strict. So obviously, if we're strict like this, we can be very direct as well. But we try to be not to be that way, because we understand you're also human. So I hope you would remember that about us. But something I'd learned to say to students, because students do tend to get very upset very quickly, not realizing that there are also restrictions that we have to face. Please remember this expression throughout this course. When you before you interact with someone, you catch more, you get more honey. No, wait. You catch more flies with honey rather than vinegar. So I think you know what that says. So if you're catching more flies with honey rather than vinegar, what it means is don't be sour, don't be rude, don't be arrogant, don't be aggressive. You want that result, you want the flies, rather be sweet. And I'm not saying fall all over yourself. I'm not saying be overly nice. Be true to yourself, but be kind. Whatever you say, be kind, be professional, and be respectful. And it will be an absolutely pleasant experience for all concerned. Okay, so I have said a lot to you. We really look forward to having you with us. Like I said, you have so much to learn. There is so much your instructors have to share. So we look forward to that. And yeah, all of the best. And I am done chatting now. Jackson, you can take over. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Melanie. I think you have said it all, and we are almost with 21 minutes over that hour we have set aside. I don't have anything to add or to subtract to what all my colleagues have said. Nomsa, do you have something to add?
Jackson, just one last thing before they leave.
Okay.
Guys, I know that for the virtual sessions, what you have experienced from previously is some of the candidates will log in the meeting, then leave. So if we do the spot check, we call you or request something from you, and you do not respond within reasonable time, we mark you absent. Because what we have seen on the system, we can see when you join the session, and we can see when you have left the session. So just make sure that when I call you up, when I call you or when I send you a message in the chat, if you don't respond within reasonable time, I take it as absence, unless if you have reported that you have issue with load shedding or with your device. Otherwise, that's the last thing that I wanted to say. But otherwise, I wish you everything of the best, and it was really nice meeting all of you. And good luck with the program. Thanks, Melanie. Thanks, Moses, and thanks, Jackson.
Okay, before they
Thanks,
leave
Alex.
as well. Sorry, before they leave, and then like when we do the spot check, and that candidate is not in the lecture or on the platform, the friends they call him or her that no, they were calling your name. Please log in. And then when we find out that you are the one who have called that particular person, we don't want to take your name to LPC or to your principal. Please be fair for yourself and for us also, so that we can we must do the smooth running of these courses. Okay, thank you very much.
Bye,
Thanks,
guys.
Jackson. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi, thank you.